Dragonfly, but today we're doing something different. So I'm no longer Dragonfly. I am Vlad and/or Jay Clava. I'm here with we won't mention his name. I'm just gonna say his name because we're not even doing this yet. He is William, and we're gonna be doing this as an interview series. So Alien U will be as if he's interviewing us for specific reasons, as if to know what our wars are like, and so on and so forth. And he'll be asking us either separate questions or just flat out full questions about both of our experiences on the field. So we're gonna do this right now. I'm gonna get this going. Let's start it up.
Hello everybody, my name is Bill McIntosh, and today we are interviewing two legends of the universe.
Hello.
Their names are...
Hi, my name is Vlad.
What was that? This is Vlad McIntosh.
I'm Vlad Diamond
McTavish.
McTavish.
Yep,
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Vlad McTavish. With him today, we are bringing you
By the way,
William Psycho.
he prefers not to be called by his real name.
Alright then, we'll just call him Psycho Man.
Just call him Psycho.
So,
he prefers it.
Alright,
By the way,
we'll
he
call
doesn't
him
like
Psycho.
to wear shoulders. He wears a hoodie. So, ask away.
Alright, so, what was your first... Alright, so this one is for Vlad. What was your first war like? We heard that you have been through many wars.
I have been. I first arrived on the planet of 2020, which was approximately 40 years ago. But, I kind of go back to the future and kind of relive those moments and go back to the fields before they were destroyed, where I still kind of roam around either way. But, the first war that I was actually in, before it even began, I actually was hurt during the war. I still have the scar if you would like to see it later, but what it was like a shard of metal actually hit me, severing a lot of my muscle area and causing it, so basically I could kind of pull open my skin at the time when it happened.
Very interesting.
Yeah, no, it was really bad. It was painful at the time, even though I can't actually feel pain at the current moment. I'm not able to feel pain, so you could even shoot me and I wouldn't really care. I'd just be like, well, let me just pull that out of me right now. But no, the first war was very scarring. Nowadays I'm kind of haunted by the assassination attempts and everything that I've had to do and to live with all the facts of that. It's kind of mentally breaking.
Well, that is, very interesting.
Well, it's not so interesting when you still look at the fields. So I actually did bring some footage of when I'm walking around in those fields. Most people won't be able to see it since this is on a radio, but if they are watching it on like TV or something, here it is. So this was the fields of 2020. All those there are actually, there's unmarked graves there as well. There are a bunch of unmarked graves.
We can see the headstones.
Yeah, no, they're supposedly unknown, but they do have headstones. They're just very low-key headstones. But for the most part, I was supposedly one of the fatalities for how many times I've been shot. I have about 35 Purple Hearts due to every one of those wars.
Nope.
So that was kind of what the situations was just constant under pressure, almost being killed every day kind of thing.
That is very interesting. I also have another question from you, but this is not from me and myself. This is from someone that claims to know you and wants to know a bit more about you. But
That's
first,
cool.
I have a question. Is it true that you have fans?
Yes, every couple days there are actually people who will come to my mansion, which I've had to build this place because for the technology that I have kept inside the areas that I live in, it is highly efficient. So actually, I have a friend who died a while back, and he's kind of my cybernetic quote-unquote systems. I call him Atlas nowadays, but his name used to be unknown, so they always gave him the nickname of Atlas. So I actually did bring him along. He's over there in the crowd. You see him over there, robotic-looking guy.
Hello,
synth.
Atlas.
That is a synth body that I built for him because he said one day that he wanted to become human again, but I couldn't give him the grant of human. So he now has that. But yes, it is true. I do have fans. They come to my house. I even let them record me, and I told them they can't do much to actually give away that information, but they usually send me a copy of it before they do an ask over inbox, which actually I have to check really quick. Yep, nothing's there except for a couple transmissions, but those will be done later. They're actually being sent to Alice as well. All right, what's the next question for me? That was from the fan who claims to know me.
Your question is by someone that claims to be one of your fans. You see, a few weeks ago, we said that we were going to make a show that was about decorated people, about people that have been in wars and that have been decorated or even more, or even famous in many ways, like a bounty hunter or something.
I'm famous in 87% of people's populations and minds.
Yes, so, this comes from a girl on the planet of Jupiter that we have actually been able to,
Contact?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so she asks, this one out of the many few hundred thousands that we have received, this one is not, in the alien language that we found there. Now, and also not sent on video.
Yeah, no,
she asks, have you ever been afraid to step in a battlefield?
Actually, there was a time where I did reconsider that, but that was after the fact that I've been scarred for so long. Just being in those wars is haunting, but after, going to explore them, I tried to see if I could overcome that fear. But there was a time where eventually it did immediately screw with my head. Eventually, because I would always see these. So as you know, I am very sensitive to things. I could see more than normal human eyes can see ever. One of the things that I saw were the deceased people. Okay.
Make this party private. Join when we're doing this.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, no, but other than me being able to see the deceased, I would listen, and they would actually be whispers in the wind. Which did happen for the longest time, until eventually I just began to, notice maybe this is a normal thing. Maybe they wanted me to give them the deceased, their family members, what they had left of them. But there would actually be physical sightings after them. But they weren't ghosts. They were more of just wandering spirits that were just forgotten people. So there was actually a field that I don't live too far from. I could walk from where I supposedly work, but that's actually my cryogenic areas where I test for several different signs of cancers and stuff. But that field actually supposedly holds the forgotten people, which everybody says that was just a myth or legend. So tell me what you know about the legend or myth.
Well, we learned about it while gathering information about you. What we learned was that the forgotten people were people that names and stuff were lost to time.
They weren't lost in time, they were lost from time. And if you don't know what I mean by from time, there was actually a specific occurrence that happened during the time period that these people died called the Forgotten Time. So their names were completely forgotten. Even I was included, because after being shot and lethalized or lethally killed, but I can't die obviously, but after that short amount of time I had this issue where I would listen to the forgotten. So I'd walk by the fields, I'd salute everybody, including some of the people that I once had to save. So during the times of 2020 there was these creatures called the Shadows, which is what that war was from, and I actually saved a bunch of them because they begged for forgiveness, so I showed them the way of the light. And actually, I do see a few in the crowd. I know one in there. The other ones, they know me, but I actually had no idea what their names were. Let's see, where is he? I'm not gonna point him out because he's actually shy. I know this by now. But he's nice. There's a lot of people in the crowd that have hoodies, but there was one in there that I know. I could already see, and he was one of my friends on the field, which is why I saved him in the first place, was because he was a part of a field that I actually visited one time, and he was dying already. I gave him another chance at life, and he accepted it. But even though I've always wanted that feeling of death, I've never had that feeling of death. But otherwise, yeah, I saved him, and he has become a friend. He's actually thanked me a lot. He's tried to send me offerings that I just didn't accept because he needs to find a
Very-
job and he doesn't have a job. So
Very interesting. Now, may we go to our good old friend, Mr. Psycho?
he said he had to go. He's not here at the current moment. He went backstage to get his crap. He'll probably be back later.
I see. Alright, now, we have another question for you.
Shoot.
Now, the question here is, have you ever regretted on killing someone that you were at war with?
Actually, that is a constant question I hear out on the streets when people notice me, or when they used to notice me. People used to be like, "Hey, do you ever regret killing people on the field next to Jake Lava?" The answer is yes, but I had a reason to. Now, here's the reason why. A lot of these people in those fields that I had to kill, they're either people that I knew, but I wasn't very well along with, or they were even just people that I felt bad for because they died in such a violent way that I tried to end it with just one bullet, but that sometimes didn't always work, so I always had to find another solution similar to it. One of the solutions that I had was to create a Desert Eagle related weapon, but no one else can shoot it but me. Even people with braces, with exosuits, they've shown, even with little fractures, even with the suits, which are made out of the material that comes off of my hands. I don't think you've ever heard of that.
We heard about those stories.
Oh yeah, no. Actually, do you have like a pan or something that I could use, and I can show you this?
No, we do not.
Okay, it's okay. I have one right here. There it is. Okay.
And you also can't use my microphone either.
Oh, I don't need the microphone, but if there is a camera in the situation, you could show this later. Actually, I have a little one right here. Okay, so watch my hand in just a second. You ready?
Mhm.
You see that?
Wow, that is very interesting.
Yeah, that material there is that's actually the strongest material that I've actually managed to create. But here's the thing, I don't actually create it, my body is made out of it. Okay, our friend there who disappeared, he is coming. He said the comm systems are dysfunctional right now. So he's gonna teleport back here in just a second. He said to give him a second.
Alright.
Right here.
Oh, there he is. Okay, there he is.
Hello, Mr. Psycho. I have a question for both of you. It's not by me or the producers. It's by one of your It's by your fans. They asked, have you ever seen fan art about the both of you together?
Actually, I have actually discovered this one. I don't know why people seem to think that we're in any way a lover or just in general friends that really like each other. No, in reality, we're just really good friends. Here's the thing, he actually knew me since he was 17. I was about 20 and I owned a militia. I actually still have that militia today. I still have them in contact. I don't use them much, but they are there for my use.
I think I met you when I was like 16 or 15 or something.
Yeah, you were 16 or 15 when you knew me. So he heard about the militia and his parents. He was telling me earlier that before that his parents actually, yeah, when you were 12, his parents thought they could get him in. But the only issue was my militia was meant for the bloodthirsty, or just for people who really wanted to help. But the only issue is a lot of my men were scarred after being on any of the fields at all. So we'd constantly have to just listen to it and feel like it. And eventually I just stopped using the thing for those purposes. I used it for like breaches and clears because we do actually have those jobs. They're lethal, but they usually try and use those charges because they forgot how much the strength works for me, that I just bust through the wall with like 1 foot and a fist.
Interesting. This will be much like the question that we will feature on next Monday's episode with the one, the only alien mercenary we all know and love, Alien U.
Actually, I know him as well. That's another thing.
Or as his planet name, what was
I think they call him Tom McClady.
not Tom
I could be wrong.
McClady. They call him. It's basically like It's basically like King Tut, except
Different language.
Takanen.
Takanen, yeah. No, they call him Takanen on several occasions.
We know him. We're friends.
We know him. We actually met while wandering different planets.
Interesting. Now, what's the word? What is the job that your militia, much like his mercenary gang used to do? What are most of the jobs that you guys do?
In originality, before they went to psychiatric wards because of their mental states, which I can immediately read their mental states. Their jobs were to be like scouts, so they'd always have snipers, but I give them really futuristic, kind of like I don't know if you've heard this, of a railgun.
Interesting.
So they used railguns that I especially made to use for very lethal jobs. Now we've always been a 5-man, but I'd always have an occasional 1 fatality during the entire missions of my men. Everybody else, it was 152, maybe 153 fatalities max when in the jobs. So their original job was to be like either my Overwatch, because I'd run in, or I'd give them a specific position and they would go there because they knew how to respect me. But they knew sometimes if they got off place, I would show them discipline. And I would tell them in my militia group, when we were displaced, we would actually stab ourselves with a serrated knife and we'd have to move it. Now they made us stab it into the table. So some men were not very good at handling pain that well, so they would eventually just very lightly put it into their hand. I would stab it, so my hand and the knife were like touching, and my hand was like unmovable, and I would just straight up rip the knife out of the table and just pull out the knife. And here's the thing, we couldn't use any of our fingers for this, other until it was either until the knife was off the table or her hand was eventually going to be infected. My hand had the lowest chance of infection due to the fact that I would just pull it right off the table. Sometimes a little bit of the table would come with it, so.
Very interesting. Now, we do only have a few minutes left of the show. So why don't we finish with a question by the viewers?
What is it?
We will be back right after these messages. Welcome back, everybody, to Interviews with the Famous.
Hello.
Of War.
The Famous of War.
I am Bill McIntosh, back again with a good friend here, Vlad Diamond McTavish.
Hello.
Now, he here has received some questions by about 20,000 of our viewers. Since we have a few minutes left to show, we only pick 3.
Shoot.
The first one is, why did you start the militia?
Well, the reason I felt like it was smart to do the militia is because I knew a lot of people had these issues of which they didn't feel like there was enough worth in the world for them. But I showed them that, and they were inspired. Originally, my general, I forgot his name, but actually I used to talk to him quite a bit. He is now with the Forgotten Deceased, but I remember him, so he's in my heart. Anyway, so he was KIA, killed in action, and there was a couple things that went down. Anyway, so I kind of made the militia out of his memory because he died at such a point that it was just sad. So I figured I'd give him I would memorize, and I know he watches me. He's as our things is we kind of call them stars now. So when they die, I actually have the ability to either put them into a cybernetic ability or put them into the sky as a star. So that's why we put the militia.
Interesting.
It's as memory.
Now, the second question is, when did you start the militia?
So after the War of 2020, the only disappointment that I had here was the fact that when I was listening to all the reports of every single little issue, such as, have you ever heard of the bombings of 67?
No, we didn't. No, we had. Never mind. If our sources say that their sources say that the bombings of 67 was exactly what they sound like. They bombed the city.
They bombed the city out in 67. Yeah, no. What happened was that was why that was around the time that we made Militia Crew. It was actually a little bit before. That was our first actual mission as an entire group. So everybody was just like, who are these people and why are they risking their lives for us? Well, these were the people that found their worth after I talked with them and kind of gave them psychiatric help. And a lot of people didn't believe that I had that ability of mental institution, which, like, for any reason, I could make you feel an opposite emotion. So you're happy or you're excited to talk with me, and I can immediately make you feel the opposite. Or I can just make you feel any emotion here. But that's when we started. It was like 67, so 66 is when we started the actual group.
Interesting.
But 67 was when we were most noticed, since it was the highest fatality count with the least amount of our own KIAs. We actually lost like one person's leg. So they didn't die, they were just very badly injured.
Now, the last question before we end the show. Where is your militia base HQ?
You mean the headquarters for our section?
Yes.
Now, actually, what's weirder is the fact that I have bunkers, like old forgotten bunkers, that I even haven't seen in years. The one that we currently use, I can't say the location due to the fact that it's highly radiated, but it is usable for our people because, you know, I've kind of given them the suits that have a hazmat built in.
Interesting.
So it's near the location. I could say the location, you guys can't visit there ever, so unless you come with me. Anyway, so the location is near, where was it? Flamante Bay. Ever heard of that place? Flamante?
No, we have not.
Flamante is near the Harris section of the universe.
Interesting.
And if you don't know what the Harris is, it used to be a highly radiated planet. Now I have found parts where it's less radiated than others, or there's just no radiation. But it is very rare that you could find that. So I've either had to fix a lot of that, or I've tried to make a quarantine-ish area where it'll actually save air and make it breathable and everything.
Interesting. Well, everybody, that was it for the show. If you enjoyed, please do come back next Monday. That was interviews with of people from Decorated Wars. If you, as I said before, if you didn't enjoy, please come back again. Anyways, I am Bill McIntosh signing off. Goodbye, everybody.
Alright, so Mr. Bill?
Yep. What is
there's
it?
a couple of things that I wanted to ask you. Now I actually had a recording of this as well, because then people knew I was actually doing for the fan club. Now I don't actually do this for people. I just do this out of my own self-entertainment and just tell what the stories are like. So maybe next time find some people who didn't know much about these wars, maybe. And if you can't, that's fine. But a lot of the history books I actually want to talk about next episode. Because the history that you know now has been rewritten by me, so try and go with some questions about that if you can.
Alright. As I said before, this is the end of the first successful episode of interviews with people of Decorated Wars. Tune in next week for Tottenkommen.
Okay, Actually, I have to go do something at the current moment.
Tottenham.
Oh, jeez. So if we have, okay, Mr. Bill, I will have
Yes,
to
sir.
leave in a rush here. So, do you mind if I keep one thing here?
No problem.
Okay, here, keep these materials. Those will actually, you can keep them. You could even have your best scientists see if you can identify what the metal is. But I already know what it is. I gotta go quickly save a quick person really quick. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Anyways, that was the end of the successful first episode. Anyways, we are also off the air. Yeah, that was actually a pretty legit episode, right, guys?
Bill. Okay, you need to get moving, sir.
No, I was talking about like not the show already ended.
No,
Episode
you need
ended.
to move like now.
What do you mean?
You're the target.
Fucking.
One of your producers said that there is a bounty on your head for 20 million.
Why?
There's reasons. There's a lot of bounties here. Trust me. There are people who will just assassinate TV shows for hosts.
I
What about
may
this?
have taken
I
that
knew
bounty.
that. I told the producers that we shouldn't have hosted this
No.
show here.
What?
I told them to.
I did.
Trust me.
When I
And trust me,
when
this
I
is
told
exactly
them
what I
back,
need to tell
brought a
people.
gun with me,
Now
but
this-
fine, right.
Let's see. Let's just get a 50 cal round on this. So, everybody, Mr. Bill, I'm gonna need you to stay by me. So, do you mind putting these on? These are gonna be some really loud gun blasts. So, I suggest you stay tight on me.
Hello, I swallow call. Also, Jake, the thing is the thing is over. We don't need to do the thing.
Not for me. It isn't. Again, I'm still
Okay.
recording on my stuff, so you still have
No, I
to
mean
kind of
the-
help.
I mean, my thing is.
Yeah, your stuff
the
is done.
thing
That's why
ready.
I'm saying this, because I didn't want to alert
Yeah.
it
I mean-
on the...
I still have it record. Now I still have my live stream going on.
Exactly, so this will be like off-camera stuff. Anyway, we need to get you to a secure position. Atlas, do you mind becoming a human shield? Go to say. Alright, so he's going to be your bodyguard for a certain amount of time. We're gonna go find these people. If you hear any gunshots, don't worry about that. We got the cleanup.
Yes.
Let's see, let me just... I don't want to use that yet. I'm going to use that as a threat. Let me get the rifle. William, you ready for this? Here. Atlas, stay in front of, Mr. Bill, and I'm gonna take
should
front...
I go psycho or?
Just stay near me.
Alright.
Bill, duck.
Oh, okay.
There's one just right behind you.
Wait, what?
There was one behind you. You may not have heard him or seen him, but I did. That's what we like to call the third sense.
Oh, interesting.
Put on those earbuds now.
Wait.
They on?
There's one still here. You got him?
Thud. Yep. There he is. Get the earbuds
Well,
off of him, Atlas. Mr. Bill, you alright?
Yes.
I'm gonna take a quick scan of your body really quick. Alright, no bodily harm except for you have a little bit of cardiac issues here right now.
Of
Okay.
course I do. I'm 47.
You're 47 here. Take this. Check it into your thigh.
All right.
That
Ow,
bounty
that
has a...
hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's not very pleasant. It should kick in just 2 seconds.
Okay then.
Alright, let's see. I'm gonna have to call up my cleanup crew.
Jake, we got a problem.
What is it?
There's still a bounty here. Mind if I take care of him?
I was gonna say, I have a... Actually, does it say where it needs to bring the body? Because he'll be expecting him. If it says right around back, I'm gonna have to pay a visit.
So, can I do it?
I was gonna say, I suggest you
Start
be the
everything.
sideman just really quick, because this is gonna be something. I scare more people than anything, and I'm gonna actually interrogate him too. With the good old-fashioned butter knife.
why are we still even doing this?
What do you mean?
Shouldn't we have just like stopped once the
No,
let's reverse time to where the episode ended. All right, the episode ended, and the story. We're back to regular.
Back to regular stuff. We're back to regular stuff. Okay, fine. Why are you like that? Man, you snuck. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna say goodbye to hurt you.
All right,
Alright.
Rocket.
I don't know what to do now.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could figure out another thing for the interviews.
We could try to do a solo RP if you two want.
I was gonna say, if you want, me and you could do that.